Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hi-Fi Resale Shop. My name is Derek. I've been selling on eBay for 19 years now, on and off. In the last 3 years, I've been a full-time eBay reseller. While my kids are, I have 4 kids, and I homeschool them, and I do the stuff while the wife's out at her job, and so I go through the things that I've sold. I do some how-to videos. I also do some videos where I show you the things that I'm about to put up. But this is going to be all the stuff that I sold over the weekend here. It is January 5th, 2026, if you can believe that. 2026. That's crazy. And we sold 24 items over the course of the weekend for a total gross total of $550.63. So there is a lot of shipping involved in that, but a little bit of fees as well. So take that into consideration when I throw out these prices. There's going to be some shipping involved on some of it. Although clothes and CDs and stuff, usually from anywhere from $6 to $4 to $6 in shipping most of the time, because it's less than a pound. But that's what it is. I want to thank everybody who watched the last video that went that had a lot of views on it. So I appreciate everybody who watched that. Hopefully you'll find this just as interesting. So the first thing we're going to talk about is these pants. Chico's So Slimming black and white geometric pattern stretch pants, size 2.5. Chico's has their own sizing thing, and then it is a medium. So you have to find out what Chico's converts to. But love selling Chico's. They always sell pretty quickly. This sold for $14.99 plus shipping on top. The next item has been up a while. It says the cost on those Chico's pants was $2. Got it at a thrift store that has already gone out of business. Probably because they didn't have the correct permits and stuff. They popped up and then they disappeared. Okay. The next item that sold was this 3X New Tags Christina Sport Blue one-piece swimsuit. This sold for $9.09. This came out of Death Pile, and came from a clean out we did in Chicago. That clean out was basically unworn clothes and a lot of unworn swimsuits. This lady just picked up swimsuits like crazy, and a lot of new unread books. I have since probably sold all those books, but there's still a few swimsuits lying around. That sold for $9.09 plus shipping on top. The next item that's sold is a CD, lot of 2 CDs. Kind of knew that these would sell pretty quickly just because of the band that it is. And it's 2 Metallica CDs, and Justice for All is one of them, and it is a digipack. So if you don't know what a digipack, it is one of these paper sleeves that open up. It's not like a jewel case like probably you're familiar with. Digipacks way less, and there's less cost to ship these. I think that's probably less production cost too, because it's just a cardboard sleeve. And this one actually has a cardboard sleeve and an inner sleeve. It's so Black and Justice for All, these 2 CDs were sold for $10.49 plus shipping on top, and I just listed these this weekend, or the beginning of the weekend, so sold fairly quickly. I'll put these right over here. The next item to sell in the same grouping of CDs that I put up, this also was listed. Time, Life, Body and Soul, 70s R&B soul music, 2 CD set, so it's got 2 CDs in there. These seem to sell really well. These compilation albums called Body and Soul, these fly right off the shelf. So if you see these, you can get them for like $1 or under. I would grab it and put it up. So for $12 with shipping on top. So the next item, also listed in the last week or so. I took it to a jewelry store and they confirmed it through their gem identifier thing, that it is a diamond, and this is United Airlines. Sorry. United Airlines 30-year work anniversary tie-tack pin with a diamond, and it's gold 1/10 10K. So it looks like that if I can get it to focus on it. There you go. It's got the diamond in there, and it says 30-year tie-tack on the back. So this came out of clean out we did in Chicago a long time ago. Been sitting around for a long time, just waiting to get listed. So this sold for $88.19. Pretty cool sale right there. The lady was a stewardess for United and American Airlines, so that we did that clean out for. If you were listening to maybe 2 videos ago, I talked about one with a Mustang, and that was also that same one where I found a Mustang for the lady. If you want to hear that story, you can go back to the video, a couple videos previous, and hear that story. The next item, pant 160, again Chico's beige flat front dress pants, size 1.5 short. That is a medium small kind of deal, and these sold for $15 plus shipping on top. I always put the Chico size in the listing because people who are buying Chicos already know that they know what number their size is. They can just go back and look at their pants or whatever that they have in their closet already, and they already know the deal with the Chico's brand stuff, that it's got a different sizing mechanism, as you might say. Let's see here. The next item is from the Owl auction liquidation thing, and I talk about it a lot because I keep selling stuff from it, but I bought the plumbing aisle and the baby aisle and then the sweater section of this auction. They were like liquidators. They bought pallets, and they just never stopped buying pallets, and I think they just got in trouble from that. Then this is a Bennington oil rubbed bronze trip lever bath drain conversion kit, new in box. Cost of $1, sold for $8.39 plus shipping on top. And then I have somebody who wants to be a part of this next part, so hold on, let me grab them. Okay, so I have a display model that wants to show these next items off. This is Ivy, and she is showing you the UGG Sammy black corduroy tan with trim used slip-on sneakers, 9.5 women's, and let me show them the bottom. They're used, but they're in really good condition. They came out of a consignment sale closet that I did, and these sold for $22 plus shipping on top. The next item that sold was this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like costume. It could be play, it could be Halloween. It's a little girl's like tulle dress. It's a medium. It's from 2016. Also on the back, there's like the half shell, or the shell on the back. We don't have it, so I just sold it like this, and it sold for $7 plus shipping on top. Don't really recall where I got that from. I just whenever I see Halloween costumes, I like to pick them up. They seem to sell pretty good. The next item that sold is a pair of CDs. Florence and the Machine, Lungs and Ceremonies. These two CDs. And they were listed last week, and they sold for $11.99 plus shipping on top. The next item that sold came from my sports memorabilia collection. I probably paid way too much for this back when it came out. Well, I definitely paid more than $16 for this stuff. It pains me to sell off my sports memorabilia stuff because you don't even get what you put into it back. This Bradford Exchange Dan Marino plate number 6 in the series Dolphins Hall of Fame career plate. This with COA. This sold for $16 plus shipping on top. The good thing about these, I did keep the styrofoam that they came in, so they're really easy to ship. But it is painful trying to sell stuff like you try and sell like all these cards that you held on to forever and they're worth pennies. So just the junk wax era really did us all in who collected during that time. I got my sidekick with me again. She's going to show you this shirt. This is Ivy. This is a vintage Hilton black and yellow bowling shirt. Extra large, with this, what does it say? Knights in Lounge on the back. It is a pullover, even though it has the buttons at the top. It's more like a polo. And it sold for $25 plus shipping on top. Bye, Ivy.
Bye.
The next item are these, I don't know how to say this correctly. I'm going to butcher it. Cremu Comfort, stretch yellow golf pant, 32 by 32, flat front. These sold for $16.79 plus shipping on top. Got these at a garage sale. They seem to have a garage sale every year, and have some pretty good clothes there year after year. I'm sure I paid maybe $2 for those. The bowling shirt came out of a clean out a long time ago. Probably one of the first clean outs we did. He was a police officer and he loved to bowl, so he had a bunch of bowling shirts in there. And I think this came out of there too. This Duke Haband large, it's vintage, work shirt. It's navy blue, collared, button down type of deal. Long sleeve. Didn't sell for much. Sold for $5.99 plus shipping on top. But good to see it going somewhere. And I won't put those that brand up for sale again. It'll just go to a garage sale. The next item that sold is another lot of CDs. This one is the U2. And it is 5 CD lot. And it has got in here No Line on the Horizon. This one. And it's got Unforgettable Fire and War and October, and Rattle and Hum. Probably, this is probably the best of their albums. I love this album very much. Takes me back to my youth, childhood youth. Yeah. Good stuff right there. $11 plus shipping on top. I'll put those in a 8x6x4 box. I won't put them in a poly bag. The next item that's sold is a pair of pants. Pant 205 Alfani black tapered ankle dress pants, size 16, extra large. Those sold for $12.89 plus shipping on top. The thing about black pants, as long as the brand name is a decent brand name, black pants sell well, and that is because restaurant workers are always buying black pants to replace ones that got spilled on or stained, and a lot of places require them to wear like a black dress pant, so those things are constantly getting churned through. So I mean, if you are okay with making $12 on a pair of pants, then you can continually sell pants on eBay like that. The next item that's sold is this ZZ Top album, Trace Hombres. Obviously rock and roll. This is from, it says 2006, but I don't know. This sold for $4.19 plus shipping on top. The next item to sell was audiobook with 3 audiobooks in it by Jeffrey Deaver. And it's got Speaking in Tongues, The Blue Nowhere, and Garden of Beasts. 3 books in one. And this sold for $4 plus shipping on top. I recently went into my audiobooks and I pulled a bunch of the ones that were at $4. This was in the pile to be taken down, but somebody bought it before I could take it down. So good for them, and it's going to get shipped out to them, and eventually I'll pull those audiobooks down. I think I'm going to, just like the CDs where I raised it to like $7 before I'm going to list it, I'm going to do that with the audiobooks as well. I have a plan to go get more audiobooks, although we took Christmas down yesterday and I put it back up in the attic. So with doing that, I was able to rearrange some stuff in the storage area, and seeing all my death pile stacked up in one thing, I think there was 12 bins of stuff I'm still working through. So there's 12 bins, and then there's maybe 6 or 7 bins in here. Yeah, you just got to keep working on that stuff before I go and get more audiobooks is what I was talking about. And I know some place that I can go get the audiobooks, and it's not going to cost me very much. But I just want to limit myself a little bit and get some of this other stuff up before I do that. I also found a place to buy entire pallets of CDs. So I'm interested in that. It looks like a pallet of CDs could cost upwards of like $700, but we will check that out later and see how that works, see if that is a good solution of getting items into sell. I will keep you informed if I do that. The next item that sold is an old rap album, Moni Love, Down to Earth. The song on here is Moni in the Middle, and this is $3 plus shipping on top. That takes you back to old MTV Raps. MTV went off the air on December 31st of last year, and I think if they just went back to playing videos, they probably could have brought up some nostalgia and people would have watched them, but they're not smart enough to do that kind of stuff. The next item that's sold is also from high school times. The KLF Time Lords. This is like a maxi single CD, and it's got Doctoring the TARDIS is the title of it. But What is Love is on here, so that is something you might know. What time is love? So that's old. That was a really good one. If you see this one, you gotta pick it up. $23.09 on that one. Probably something you don't see every day, though. The next item that's sold came out of the sports memorabilia auction that Hi-Fi Resale started with. I still have four copies of this available. The Ultimate Season Chicago Bulls 1996 yearbook. This sold for $10.99 plus shipping on top. The next item that's sold is the Lori Lock Band, a toast. This is from 2014. Probably an independent local artist because it's got a song about Mo life, so Missouri life. And this is $34.99. That's sold before, and somebody asked me to cancel the order. So maybe it's the same person that finally decided to pull the trigger on it. The next item that's sold is Foreigner, the Greatest Hits. So you got Feels Like the First Time on here, Cold as Ice, Hot Blooded, Double Vision, Head Games. I didn't know they had so many great songs. Urgent, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Jukebox Hero, I Want to Know What Love Is. I think that's it. That's a really good album. It makes me want to listen to some Foreigner right now. Awesome CD. $7 plus shipping on top. That person got a CD full of music. That's good stuff right there. And then the last thing that sold was this morning. And I got it for $1 at a garage sale of a friend of mine. I didn't really make money on the CDs that I got there. I made a bunch of money off of the clothes I got from him because he gave me a really, really good deal. But this Hatebreed CD, Live Dominance, Metal, Hardcore, 2008, and this sold for $5 plus shipping on top. The crazy thing about this, I think the person asked 2 questions about this CD. He wanted a picture of this insert in here, and he wanted to know what was there. Fine, I'm okay with that. My general rule of thumb is somebody asks 3 questions, and I block them, and I don't sell anything to them. It is something you can do on your own. You don't have to follow that rule. That's just my rule. I have just found it to be that if somebody asks you more than 2 questions about any particular item, because you're a reseller and you know that you put a lot of effort into putting the correct information into your listing, it's there. The information is there. This guy, I did not tell if there was a pamphlet in there or anything, so that question is totally valid. And then the next question, are there scratches on it? I mean, come on, man. You asked me one more question and we're over. But he ended up buying it. Thank you for buying it, whoever that was. But when people ask me for pictures of CDs, I don't do that really. Like people ask for the back of to see if there's any scratches. You can't tell when you take a picture if you see any scratches on there. It's just too reflective to do that. But yeah, my general rule is if somebody asks more than 2 questions about any particular item, that I just block them as a buyer. I don't want that kind of headache. they're not going to be happy with whatever you send them. So just the way I do things. It's something over the course of time that my wife and I had come up with, because the more questions people ask, the more intense they are about the thing that they're buying. And dude, it's a $5 DVD, or it's like a $7 CD. We're not getting all bent out of shape about something for $7. So, but anyway, that's that. That's a little rule that I have about questions on eBay. I try to answer every question that comes through on eBay as fast as I can. My theory on that is that the eBay sees you answering questions and you're treating it like a business. When you don't answer questions for 3 or 4 days, then it would say to eBay that you're not taking this seriously. So I say just take it seriously and answer the questions as fast as possible. This guy answered this question while I was sleeping on Sunday morning, so I didn't answer it until I was done with my basic day. Like we had I didn't go to church because I didn't feel well, but after that we put away the Christmas stuff because we had life group coming over, or a small group, whatever you want to call it. And so I put all that stuff away, and then when small group was over, then I went and answered his question. He had already messaged me a second time about it, so I just told him that I was not near the item, that I couldn't do it at that time. But I don't normally do eBay stuff on Sunday. I kind of take that day for the family, and just if everybody's asleep and I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, I sometimes come in the office and do some cleaning up on my desk and stuff, but I try not to do too much in terms of eBay on Sundays. And that's just the way I go about things. But that's all I got for right now. That was 24 sales over the course of the weekend, gross total of $550. So we're doing it. We're doing it in 2026. And the goal this year is the same as the goal last year. The goal was to make $100,000 in sales. We didn't hit that this year, but we're gonna try to get better items, better selling, higher priced items this year, and we're gonna try and get there. But anyway, that's all I got. I remember, open up that Bible, read it. I started a Bible, trying to read the entire Bible in a year program on YouVersion. So check that out if you get a chance. And I have yet to do the whole thing in 1 year, so I'm going to try and get that done this year. And then remember, when you find that really cool item at that estate sale, remember to give yourself a self high five. See you later.